Hi, I'm Peter Sidwell, welcome to my kitchen. Now, a couple of days ago you might well have seen me do a really lovely roast leg of lamb dish. I did it from the Little magazine, which is something I contributed to. So the perfect kind of roast leg of lamb for Easter. Now, leftovers, very topical subject at the moment. And we all get them, and I think what they do is they present loads of amazing opportunities to create some killer dishes. And obviously we've got some roast leg of lamb left over. So I wanted to show you a really, I think it's a very cool recipe. Really tasty, very modern, great flavours. And we're actually going to create some kind of Middle Eastern lamb and feta and California prune parcels, which taste amazing. So, roast dinner, Easter Sunday, beautiful, enjoy your leg of lamb, it'll be amazing I'm sure, and have loads of wild garlic pesto, which I showed you, hopefully you made that, and then enjoy these the next day on Easter Monday, maybe, if you want to. So, first thing we're going to do, I've got 300 grams got 300 grams of plain flour, and then I've got some olive oil based margarine, which I tend to have in the fridge. You could use butter if you want to. And we've got 150 grams, so it's a 2-to-1 ratio, as with most pastries. So we'll bob that in there. I have got some coriander, which is going in the centre, but I've got some stalk. So I'm just going to roughly chop a little bit of the stalk there. And let's pop that in, because I want tons of flavour in there. I've got some cumin. And I've got a little bit of dried mint as well. So we're going to make a pastry that kind of really tastes. Okay, sprinkle of cracked pepper, tiny bit of salt, not a lot because I've got salted margarine spread in there. And then we're going to pulse it. Off we go. Nice and easy. And what's happening is the food process is kind of blending down all the spices and herbs and everything as well. So we get like a really nice flavoursome pastry. Dead easy, super quick. I always make a pastry like this now, especially at home. Boom. Right, cold water. So, little drips of water, just pour it in nice and slowly. And it will come together as a ball. Just keep pouring nice and slowly. There we go. And as it starts to come together, see that? So you can kind of see there that it's actually come together as a ball of pastry. Okay? Right, so let's go back wide so you guys can see what's going on. Let's get it there. A little bit of flour on my hands and we'll get this pastry out. Okay. So I've got a nice soft pastry, okay? So we'll add a bit of flour, just so that I can handle it, and you can kind of see what we've got. Okay, so I'm going to bob that in the fridge while we make the filling. Pastries in the fridge, just kind of resting, just chilling down a little bit, and that'll kind of help. So, what we've got is, I've got my lamb here, my leftovers, but first of all, we're going to kind of make like a Middle Eastern, Moroccan kind of North African flavours, okay? So I've got some harissa paste, which is a really beautiful North African paste. It's got cumin, it's got coriander, it's got chili, preserved lemon, all these beautiful, amazing flavours. But it's all in a paste, which is quite a good thing to have. So I'm going to pop that straight into my bowl. Straight in. Let's pop that just to one side. I've got a lime, so we'll add that in. You could use a lemon as well if you want. Lemon or lime, you just want that nice bit of acidity. Okay, then red chilli. Put as much or as little in as you like. You know, I don't have to tell you, if you like it hot, you put lots in. If you don't put much in at all. And if you really don't like it, like my mother, don't put any in at all. Okay, so that can go straight in. Beautiful. Right, red onion. Okay. I use red because they're slightly sweeter, and I prefer them if I'm honest. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to chop these down. Okay, so nice and fine. Just run your knife through, cutting the onion and leaving about 1 centimetre from the top, and then cut in halfway, and then just roll your knife, and I'll do it this way so it's easier to see. Just chop the onion nice and fine. Okay. There we go. Right, so chop the other onion. Nice and fine, just run your knife through. There we go, that will do. Right, so we'll bob that in. So, onions in with the harissa paste, the lime juice, the chilli. Smelling good already. Right, I've got some tomatoes here. I'm just going to cut them into quarters, and then again. So I've cut them into 8 pieces, okay? And I want this is going to kind of help create the sauce. But I don't want to make much work. You know, it's bank holiday. This recipe is designed for bank holiday Monday. You should be out and about enjoying yourself. So this shouldn't take more than 10 minutes to make this and get them in the oven. 2 minutes to make your pastry. Let that rest for 5 minutes. And then mix everything up. If you haven't got cherry tomatoes, just use normal ones. Cut them in smaller. If you haven't got normal ones, use some blush tomatoes, or take a tin of tomatoes and pour them through a sieve and let them all drain away. You don't want too much moisture, you see. So that'll do with tomatoes. This is also a really good dish as well. If you haven't got roast lamb, maybe some roast chicken, something like that, it's quite good. So I've got California prunes. For me, I've been doing some work with these guys to actually create some really beautiful recipes. So that is why I'm using them, because I've discovered them as a product and I think they're incredible. And a bit of fruitiness works so well with lamb, and that's why we've got them in there. They're a great thing to have in the store cupboard. Use them wherever you can. Bags and bags of fibre, really good for you. Great just to add into things to help you eat a bit better. It's not a hard decision to make, in my opinion. You know, just adding that little bit of goodness, it all helps, I think. And I think for me, the way I cook, that's going to be my way forward. It's just trying to add in all those little extras where I can. Right, lamb, okay. So we've got our cooked lamb here. Got a few little bits left as well. So put those to one side. So just kind of cut it off the bone, okay? Or if you're really organised, you will have already picked this off after Sunday lunch, but I did not. So I've got a little bit left there. Okay, let's just put that to one side. Now, I'm going to shred this, okay? A little bit of that lovely wild garlic pesto still on that. Lovely, right, and then straight in, okay? And then some more lamb. It's making me, the smell is making me think of yesterday's lunch, which is a good thing. So nice and fine, shredded up. And what we're going to do is we're going to kind of get in and work our hands in and get all the juices and flavours into the lamb, which is what it's all about. Flavour, flavour, flavour. Right, so that's the lamb there. Let's get that in. Okay, couple more ingredients, not a lot now. Coriander, bundle it up, chop it, stalks as well, any stalks that are left, get it in, okay? In it goes, okay. Touch more dried mint, add that in, okay. And then we will just scrunch this together. And you can hear the tomatoes kind of breaking down. That's what we want. Oh, something very satisfying about doing this. And automatically, look, you can smell, it just smells fresh and amazing and full of flavour. And this is blooming leftovers. And that's why chefs go on about leftovers always the best dish. Okay? Right. Just going to go wash my hands because that is done. Look. Right, got my pastry. It's rested. It's chilled down a little bit. It's not rock solid and I didn't want it to be. It's just kind of relaxed, firmed up a bit, which makes it easier to manage and easier to deal with. Okay, so this was 300 grams of plain flour, 150 grams of margarine, an olive oil margarine I've used, and I am going to cut it into, maybe, what are we going to do? That should be okay. Yeah, so we're just going to cut it in half, and kind of visually, I'm going to make, I think I'm probably going to make 8 portions, okay? These will be perfect. Okay. And maybe we'll go 6, okay? So we're going to make 6 portions, so just cut the pastry, and you can weigh it if you like, divide it by 6. I'm a bit lazy, so I'm just going to do it by eye. So I'm just adding a little bit to each one. And all we kind of do is we just kind of, and you might have some leftovers, so you can kind of make a little bit more, okay? So we've got our pastry. So I'm just going to roll the first one into a ball. Okay, pat it down, turn it over in the flour, and then we're going to get our rolling pin. And I'm just going to roll these into circles. And the way that we do that is, you always start with the shape you want to finish with. So I wanted a circle, I'm going to finish with a circle. So I just lift it and I turn it and I roll it and that's it. Okay, so I've got one here. And what I'm going to do is just take a beaten egg. Okay, and I'm going to egg wash one side. Now for me it's really important that you do just one side with the egg. Because if you do both sides and we bring them together, they've both got egg in, they'll just do this and they'll slide. Whereas one glues to the other, holds it shut. Okay, so we're going to get some of our beautiful lamb mixture and plonk it right in the middle. Okay, a good amount. Get some of those prunes. I've got some feta. For me, lamb feta, oh, it works. It really, really works. And it kind of works as a seasoning as well. So let's just open the feta. And then I am just going to crumble a bit on the top, like so. Okay, that's it. Just rub my hands. And then just because I like to do things a little bit different, I'm not actually going to seal this up. I'm just going to kind of do it like this. So just pinching the edges, okay? And we'll crimp those. Bit of flour on our hand. Okay, and then we've kind of created this little lip, and I've got my little kind of an open pasty. Do it like this if you want, you don't have to, but I quite like doing it this way. So there's one. I'm just going to do a few more and then we will get them in the oven. Right, there's 3. That will do just to get us going, and I will make the others as we go. So what I'm going to do is just kind of egg wash them, get some nice colour on them, so that they just kind of go all beautiful and golden and crisp, and they're nice and easy to eat. Okay. And like I say, if you know, you could seal these up if you wanted to. It's not an issue. It's just I wanted to do it this way. Because I quite like to see all the bits that's gone in, and I quite like the way the cheese kind of gratinates, I think is probably the right word, where it goes all brown and crispy and lovely. There we go. And what I'm going to do is put something a little bit fresh on the top when it comes out of the oven. So I'm going to make a bit of a herb dressing with a few bits and bobs. Right, so finally, something like this deserves a little trickle of lovely olive oil, okay? Anybody Greek would agree with me, I'm sure. So, half a teaspoon of olive oil in there. So I've got the oven on at 180 degrees. They're going to go straight in. They're probably going to take about 20 to 25 minutes. Depends on the size you make. If you want to make really little, lovely little cocktail ones, you know, for canapes or parties and stuff like that, then obviously they're going to take less. If you make a great big one, for a family, it's going to take even longer. So, okay, these parcels have had sort of 25 minutes actually in the oven. Oh, look at these. Right, so you can kind of see, let me just crop into there so that you guys can see what matters. So you can see that, look, all the lamb and the feta is kind of browned, and all the juices have kind of kept inside the parcel, which is the beauty of kind of cooking in pastry. And they've just got loads and loads of flavour, which is fab, which is exactly what we want. So I am just going to pop these to one side and grab some beautiful herbs. Right, so I've got some beautiful fresh basil here. I'm just going to bundle it up and just run it through my knife, just nice and gently. Because with basil, what you don't want to do is bruise it. So kind of cut it quite gently. Okay. Now we'll pop that there to one side. Lovely. And then what I've also got is some tapenade, which is like a black olive paste. It's lovely. Really, really like it. Okay. So I'm going to take a tablespoon of tapenade. And we're just going to kind of make something very Greek, Middle Eastern kind of inspired, really. Got some white wine vinegar to give it a bit of tang. So we're kind of making a dressing, really, to be honest. Some olive oil. Make sure you've got about 2/3 more oil than the vinegar, or if you want to put lemon juice in, that's good too. We're just going to give that a mix, kind of let it all down. Beautiful. Right, in with the basil. There we go. Lovely. And then we'll just give that a good mix. I'm actually just going to add a touch more oil to that, just to loosen it up. And if you make too much, don't worry. Just pop it in a tub, keep it in the fridge, it'll be amazing tomorrow. Use it for salads, spread over pasta, dips, you name it. Lovely. Then touch of black pepper in there maybe, that'd be nice. Okay, marvellous. Right, that's kind of, it's tangy, it's salty, it's deep, which is going to work really well. Okay, so I've got my lovely Cornish pasty like no Cornishman has ever seen. And then I am just, I'll crop down into there for you so you can see what I'm doing. Not better. Okay, and then just spoon a little bit of that on the top. Lovely. And then we'll cut that in half so you can kind of see what's going on in the middle. I mean, look at all those yummy, yummy flavours. So, look. Here you go. So these are my kind of Middle Eastern, Mediterranean type pasties, using up the leftover roast leg of lamb with all those lovely sort of flavours, topped with feta, dead easy to make. If you want the recipe, go to Simply Good Food TV's Facebook page and I'll write it all out for you there. But just watch and just use up your leftovers.